Okay, let's factor this quadratic expression. 2y squared minus 17y minus 30. Again, I'm going to use both the boxes and the scooping. So we're going to put our first term here, 2y squared, and we're going to put our second term here, negative 30. Next thing we need to do is we need to find factors of a times c. So we're going to go 2 times negative 30, which is going to give us a negative 60. Remember, we don't want to worry about the positives and negatives right away. Let's just start listing factors. So we have 1 and 60. We have 2 and 30. We have 3 and 20. I'm going to have to move that box. Okay, we have 4 and 15. We have 5 and 12. We have 6 and 10. 7 does not divide 60. 8 does not divide 60. 9 does not divide 60. 10 does, but we already have it listed here. So now we need to figure out which one's going to be our negative. We have a negative sum right here. It's got to add up to a negative 17, which means our larger numbers are the ones that need to be negatives. Well, the only one that works is when you add a positive 3 and a negative 20, you get a negative 17. So we're going to put a negative 3y here, and we're going to put a, no we're not, we're going to put a positive 3y there, and we're going to put a negative 20y here. We're going to rewrite our expression as 2y squared. Instead of negative 17y, we're going to write a positive 3y, a negative 20y, and we're going to keep that negative 30 where it's at. Then we're going to scoop these into two separate trinomials. I needed some room to do some work over here. And we want to pull out the greatest common factor. If you notice, our 2y squared plus 3y is this piece right here. So the greatest common factor of 2 and 3 is 1. You don't have to put the 1 there, but just to show you. And then the greatest common factor of y squared and y is y. So the greatest common factor of 2y squared and 3y is 1y. What are we left with? Y times 2y is 2y squared. Y times 3 is 3y. So once you factor out that y, what you're left with is 2y and a positive 3. The next thing we need to do is we need to factor out from down here. We have a negative 20y and a negative 30. Same thing as here, a negative 20y and a negative 30. Since your leading coefficient in these parentheses is a negative, let's go ahead and pull out a negative. And the greatest common factor of 20 and 30 is 10. We're going to pull out a negative 10. They don't both have a y, so y is not a part of it. So what are we left with on the inside? Let's see if our math from before works. Is negative 10 times a positive 2y a negative 20y? Yes, it is. Is negative 10 times a positive 3 a negative 30? Yes, it is. So when we factor that out, we have 2y plus 3. Both have factors of 2y plus 3. That's what you have up here. So we have 2y plus 3 times, and then we have this right here, which is a y minus 10. And there's your final answer.